Hi, so exciting times. We're going to start inserting this gusset between our front and our back, or top and bottom of the bag. So I've already gone ahead and clipped mine in place. What we need to do with these corners of the gusset, and I've already done it on this lower section here, but I'll just show you on the upper section. It's exactly the same thing. So on those corners that we stitched to create the corner, we want to just snip in up until just before that stiff faster fuse. So it may be easier to do it with the lining because that's where the faster fuse is. So we just want to snip pretty much on that stitching line and stop the snip just before we get to that. And we want to do that in each corner. So I've already done the other side of this gusset. We've got to do these 4 corners, top and bottom. And what that allows to happen is where you can see that I've already done the clipping or pinning here, and it allows it to splay for that corner, which we need it to do so that it sits nice and firm. So the seams are going to be to the outside. If you notice on this bag here, we've actually bound the seams afterwards on the outside so that everything is nice and tidy on the inside. So that's what we're creating at the moment, is a seam area that we're going to do the binding on. We're going to stitch these, and I'm suggesting that you just can flatten a side out and stitch right along one side, close in. So probably we're talking about a 3/4 inch seam allowance almost, up to very close to where the faster fuse is. You can feel it as a ridge. It's at least a 1/2 inch seam, possibly slightly more. So you can kind of flatten that out, and I suggest that you start and stop with a little back stitch just to make it nice and strong at the corners. Do one side at a time, take it out, turn it round and do the next side, and so on until you've gone all the way round. And then we're going to continue on doing the same thing with the lid as well. And the other thing to mention, you can see here I've pinned the handle down out of the way. I'd suggest that you do that because it would be a strong temptation to stitch that in if you don't pin it out of the way. It would be very easy to do. Trust me, I know. So pin the handles out of the way, snip your corners, pin or clip the pieces together, and just sew one side at a time. Put your base in, then put the top in, and then we'll do a little review on where we're at. So I'm just going to sew one side now so that you can just see it's not that hard to do. It is bulky, it is stiff, it's a little bit awkward to handle, but nothing that you can't manage. I'm reasonably confident about that. Just make sure that that handle's not catching underneath. So I'm going to start here near the corner with a little back stitch so it's nice and strong on the corner, and keeping all those edges pretty much together and feeling where that faster fuse finishes. You just want to stitch along. Just take your time with this. It's better to take your time and get it right. You don't want to be having to redo these sort of things if you can help it. Everything should fit quite nicely because we've been taking care with our cutting and with our little corner pieces and things. So this seam, generally speaking, will be hidden because we're going to bind it, and I'm going to bind it the same way I do when I bind quilts. And I'm pretty much up to the next corner now, and I could swivel it without taking it out. I've just found that overall I'm more comfortable taking it out, shifting everything in the way of now folding it down and doing the next side as a sort of a separate exercise. So you can see that that's gone well. If you look inside, it's encased that elastics nicely. It's nice and tidy on the inside. And yes, we've got a bulky seam area here, but we're going to be trimming it a little bit later as well. So continue on round, do the other sides. Make sure that both your handles are facing the same direction. We don't want one handle over here and one up here. It would be unusual, but perhaps not helpful. So get both of those on, and then we'll just have a little recap on that shortly. So here we have what looks awfully like a bag, case, whatever you want to call it. So I've sewn, as I was showing you, I've stitched all my top end and the base end, and it's all looking pretty good inside. Just a little bit of tidying up to do on the outside, and we'll do that in the next segment, in the next video, because we're going to trim that and put some binding on, so I can show you that a bit later. And I managed not to sew the handles down. The handles are looking good, it's standing nicely. All in all, this bag is coming together. So it is a little bit fiddly putting that last bit on, as I said, so just take your time and you'll find that you'll get there. I've got there, I can do it, you can do it. So come back for the next segment and we'll put the binding on. Thank you.